So this has been a really good week in polling for Bernie Sanders. I have a number of polls here I'm going to show you, and his support continues to increase. So let's get to the first one here. Here we go. Nevada. This is the Nevada straw poll. Sanders, 33%. Warren, 20. Biden, 17. Yang, 7. Booker, 7. Steyer, 7. Buttigieg, 6. Klobuchar, 2. Castro, 2. Already off to a great start here. Let's go to Morning Consult. Morning Consult, you see Biden still in first at 29, up 1 since last week. Sanders, 24, up 3 from last week. The biggest gain out of anybody here. Warren's up 1, Steyer up 1. Buttigieg remain the same. Yang the same. Booker the same. Bloomberg down. And by the way, in case you're wondering, how the hell is Steyer at 10%? He has poured $80 million into television ads. So the only person spending more is Bloomberg, the other billionaire. And then the same week I saw those numbers. So this is over the course of a week. 80 million over the course of a week on ads. During that same week, the third place person was Bernie Sanders, who spent 8 million. So Steyer is trying to buy his support here. Let's dig a little deeper into this one, though. So every week, Morning Consult updates these numbers. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. So here you go. This is Democratic primary voters. Biden at 31, Sanders at 22. But when you go to early primary states, actually, before I go on, this is really a three-person race right now, because 15% is the cutoff for delegates in primary states. So you have to hit at least 15% to get delegates from a state in the Democratic primary. So right now, this clearly appears to be a three-person race. You go to early primary states, a lot closer. And this is where Bernie, if he's able to flip some of those early states, if he can win Iowa, win New Hampshire, it will completely flip this race on its head. Biden will drop immediately. But you see here, he's within striking distance, 29 to 24. And then Warren stays there at her 15%. So looking at early states, this is really a two-person race. If we go down, I think there is more information down here. Here we go, second choices. So these are also updated every week. Biden supporters, their second choice is Bernie Sanders, as has been the case for a while now. So people that are wondering, how are Biden supporters, how is their second choice Bernie Sanders? Because a lot of this isn't really based on policy. So while, Bernie's policy is solid, Biden's is not. Biden has a horrible history. A lot of the support behind Biden is because of name recognition, because of attachment to Barack Obama, because they see Biden as this sort of working class guy, even though he's not. He just kind of makes himself appear that way. So a lot of that support can go to Bernie Sanders when Biden begins to drop more. And then Warren, Buttigieg. We look at Sanders supporters here. Their second choice is Elizabeth Warren. This is not all that surprising. Though it is surprising, Joe Biden in second here. But again, that goes to what I was saying earlier, where a lot of the support that is sort of the uninformed liberal is kind of going between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Andrew Yang, 8%. That's an interesting drop down there. Warren supporters, their second choice by far, Bernie Sanders. Also not surprising if you're looking at policy. Joe Biden at 20% there, Pete Buttigieg at 15%. So again, if Warren drops, say she doesn't win the first few states and she drops out of the race, a lot of that support can go to Bernie, especially if she backs Bernie immediately, which I would hope that she would, because there is no one else in the race that comes close to representing that message. Go down here to Buttigieg supporters. Elizabeth Warren is their second choice at 24%. Then Joe Biden, then Michael Bloomberg and Bernie. I got to wonder, who are these people that support Buttigieg right now, but their second choice is Bernie Sanders? Like, the platforms are just completely different. The candidates are different in every way. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Bloomberg supporters, their second choice is Joe Biden, 33%. Then Elizabeth Warren, then Buttigieg. Not all that surprising there. All right. There's more polling that I got here. Let's go to California. What's California looking like? California KQED poll. And the change is since October. So Sanders leading here, 26%, up 2. Warren's down 5 at 23%. Biden is steady at 19. Buttigieg is up 3 at 12%. Yang plus 1 at 4%, and the rest kind of just fall off. So there you go. Bernie leading in California. Another good indication here that he's doing quite well. Let me go to the next. Actually, I think there's more details about this one. Oh yeah, so this goes into the California poll a little bit more. I'm not sure if there's more that I can pull out of this. So that's the results in graph form. You can see again, really a 3-person race here: Bernie, Warren, Biden. Here we go. So Sanders. Some of this is good. Sanders' strongest demographic groups. Strongest demographic groups are men, 36% of voters under age of 49, and Latinos, 37%. Warren is best with women at 26%, but her support is fairly evenly distributed. Among California's black voters, Biden retains a solid support, 47%, followed by Warren at 13%. That's a huge gap there. That's tough. Top choice of Asian voters is Biden, 32%, followed by Andrew Yang at 28%. And I think there's more here about, so we can look into this a little bit by race. So Asian, Bernie Sanders, 17% compared to Joe Biden, 32%, Yang at 28%. So Bernie's in third there. Black voters, Joe Biden way ahead. Bernie Sanders in California, black voters really low. That's not a good number. He's got to get that up. Elizabeth Warren's in second. And Hispanic, Bernie by far, 37%. Next closest is Warren at 17%, Biden at 16%. And then we get to white voters, and it's Warren leading with 31%, Sanders with 23%, and then Pete Buttigieg. Cool. We got more. Let me go to Emerson. Emerson Poll. Biden, 32, Sanders, 25, Warren, 12. Again, going to the idea that this is a 2-person race. So right there, Biden and Sanders at the top of this. I think there's another piece of this that I want to dig into. Here you go. Emerson's latest poll shows Sanders with by far the most solid support of any candidate. So this is what I was talking about earlier. People that support Bernie Sanders are likely going to stay with him. So 71% will definitely vote for this candidate. That's huge. Biden's next closest at 57%, and then Bloomberg and everybody else around 30%. Interesting. So this again goes to Bernie's ability to stay strong with his support base and stay strong throughout the primary process and not lose his voters to other people. This is a hugely important number. Do I have more? I do. One more poll. Here you go. Bernie Sanders is the candidate leading with non-white Democratic voters. So even though he's not doing well in California among black voters, he's doing very well in California among Latino voters. But nationally, Bernie Sanders is doing very well with non-white Democratic voters. 29% to Biden's 26%, Warren 13%, Buttigieg 6%. Again, showing you Bernie has this very diverse coalition of young, even old voters, black, white, Asian, Latino. So his support is all across the board. I mean, largely from younger voters, from voters under 45. But he still has, I know from my followers, because I hear from them, supporters that are a little bit older as well.